Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel here.
Across the streams of hopes and dreams where things are really not. Come along if you can. Come along if you dare.
Have a good one. Cheers, guys.
Side of your mind, but please realize you'll probably be surprised.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review of Supernatural on the CW. This week we've seen Season 13, Episode 12, Various and Sundry Villains. So, I'm happy to actually be getting out my Supernatural video, at least somewhat on time this week. It did air last night, but it's better than me reviewing it Tuesday, so that's good. And Supernatural, it's one of my all-time favorite shows, no question about it. And although this isn't my favorite season, I do think it's better than Season 12 so far, as I always say. And there's never bad Supernatural anything, in my opinion. And I think this season's very much on the upswing in general, anyway. And this week's episode, I liked. I don't think it was quite as good as last week's breakdown episode. And it sort of was like another, people keep on saying filler, case of the week, whatever. This one did, try to touch on the main story a little bit more with, seeing Lucifer and Castiel being held, as well as sort of exploring more of, Sam and Dean's feelings towards Mary still being, trapped out there, and, Jack being there too. So it did touch on the main story more than last week's episode did, perhaps. Of course, we have a couple witches who end up casting this love spell on Dean, which is really funny, because Dean, he has this deep voice, so it's kind of funny to see him get all excited and all sort of giggly or giddy about just being just thrown off by these sisters here. So there was a lot of fun with that, and when Sam goes to confront him and stop the witches, and they have their little tussle, and they kind of wrestle around in a kind of clumsy way. It was pretty funny. I laughed out loud. And of course, we see the return of Ruth Connell, or Rowena, in this episode. Now, Rowena was never one of my favorite characters at all. I like her, but I kind of thought she, I don't know, she felt out of place at times. But, I was still kind of excited to see her back because, naturally, I'd think that, Crowley would come up. And Crowley is definitely a character I really, really miss on the show. I'm lucky enough to be going to Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo C2E2 in this coming April, where Mark Shepard will be there, of course, Crowley himself. So, I was just excited to hear more about Crowley, or to hear him bring him up again. And at first I thought they weren't going to mention him, which would have been really, really weird. But when they meet up with Rowena, she asks where her son is, and they cut away from it, so I thought they were going to skip over what they said about him, but they didn't. I know there's some conflicting reports about the nature of Mark Shepard's exit from the show, but I was happy that they'd at least still talk about the character and what he did for him at the end of Season 12. Now, some say what he did against Lucifer is just sort of to spite Lucifer and a final FU to him, not as much to save the Winchesters, but, I think it was meant to sort of be both, at least to an extent. Basically tell her that he changed a lot and that he went out a hero and he saved them and he trapped Lucifer for a time anyway. Even Crowley, I'm sure, would know. Lucifer would find a way out somehow, but she just she's kind of taken back by that. And meanwhile, Rowena has this whole scheme with these sisters, and it seems like she just wants the just wants the book back, and she's looking for herself, but now she is trying to get it out from the Winchesters herself by using these sisters in the first place. But all got messed up, now she's using the Winchesters to find them. And then there's a, triple betrayal, or triple, screw over at the end, where she finally sides with the Winchesters, but both Sam and Dean know that, her intentions were never, pure whatsoever. But, it's still fun to see Rowena. I enjoyed it. And at the end, I thought she was going to try and resurrect Crowley or something, but I knew Mark Sheppard wouldn't be back so soon. I'd love to see Mark Sheppard appear at least one more time in the series, like even in the final episode, whenever that is, or something. But until then, I'm afraid that they're going to bring back Crowley, but in a different body, which wouldn't work. Mark Sheppard, he's too much a part of the role at this point, so I hope they never do that. But Rowena, basically, she has this sort of trauma from what Lucifer did to her, which her and Sam actually end up bonding over, because of course, Sam's various personal experiences with Lucifer over the years. They've both seen his true face, and they're both just, part of them's gone over it. And of course, Rowena's back, but she still died. Luckily she had this, spell ready, to kind of resurrect herself, but slowly. So Lucifer still, caved her skull in and, set her on fire and everything like that. So, that must have been pretty dreadful, I'd imagine. So they share a genuine moment over that, but still Rowena's not to be fully trusted, although I don't think she's ever going to be an outright villain. I think she will be more of an ally than a villain. But I don't think she'll ever be as close to the boys as, say, like even Crowley himself was, Fergus himself. But still, it was nice to have her back, and I liked I liked Lucifer and Castiel's banter in this one. Of course, Mark Pellegrino, it's great to have him around. I'm glad that they sort of made him the permanent vessel of Lucifer. I hope they never change it again. I hope they learn their lesson. But yeah, although Lucifer doesn't have very much power right now, he still likes to, talk quite a bit, and that's always entertaining. And it turns out that, when he's kind of pushed to a certain level of anger, he's able to get some of his power back without, taking grace from Castiel, who learned his lesson, and he stabs Lucifer at the end, which was nice to see him actually get to do that to him for a change. Lucifer is in a really weird spot in terms of being a good or bad character at this point. Obviously, he's the devil, so he's bad, right? But we know how that gets blurred on the show, and it is kind of blurred right now. He's like more of a weird anti-hero character, or maybe he's still a villain, but we just kind of like him so much because of Mark Pellegrino, I don't know. But either way, I like that they're having him as a more regular character, and I'm kind of excited for him to get more of his power back and kind of, I can't even remember the demon's name that's controlling him right now. That's how unmemorable he is right now for me. But I just want Lucifer to have a hand in killing him, and then maybe they find another way to get rid of Lucifer. I don't know. That'd be kind of predictable, but we'll see how it goes. So I like this episode. Like I said, not quite as good as last week's, but I like Crowley being brought up again in such a way. Although I've never been like the biggest fan of Rowena, it's still good to have her presence on the show again. And it appears that she cast herself a pretty powerful spell, to protect herself at the end. So I'm sure she'll be appearing a little bit more this season. I'm giving this episode about a 8.9. Well, no, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It's supernatural, and the whole Crowley thing was nice. Lucifer and the Dean stuff was pretty funny. So, 9 out of 10. Let me know what you guys thought about this week's episode. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.